I finally found a Fillion, and luckily he didn't flip me the finger. Here's your look at the new Spin Master toys. There's a Superman movie, Build a Superman Robot, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner. Bring home iconic superheroes and supervillains with these detailed, fully articulated 6-inch action figures, perfect for fans of the Superman movie. Featuring signature details inspired by the Superman movie, each figure brings an iconic character to life for epic battle recreations. I think before we look at the bird-flipping boy with the bowl, let's take the tape measure and see how tall the Spin Master Toys Guy Gardner stands. I think, though, a figure that has beaten McFarlane Toys when it comes to shipping these to stores. I don't think we've yet still gotten a DC Multiverse release of Guy Gardner. Yet we do have one here from Spin Master. We're going to also bring in the Superman that we've already had a look at and make some further progress when it comes to building the bot. In the meantime, though, Guy Gardner is going to stand at 6 inches in height. That's going to translate to a figure that's 15 centimeters tall. So far, it seems, the goal of building the Superman robot is unattainable. The only other figure that we've looked at so far from Spin Master happens to be Superman. Superman would have then had the head and the top of the torso. Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner would have provided the arms. Metamorpho and Engineer would then have the legs. And then you need the crucial lower torso or abdomen area, and that comes included with Hawkgirl. Since, though, picking up the Superman, I also picked up Mr. Terrific. Just recently, I also ordered Metamorpho and the Engineer. I'm just waiting for those to arrive. Hawkgirl still seems to be eluding me. Not only is she not available in stores as a Canadian collector, I mean, forget about even finding these things in the stores, but I can't seem to find a Hawkgirl online either. What you will find, though, with Guy Gardner is, of course, one of the arms. The arm does have surprisingly good levels of posability. Not only can you bend the elbow, but you can also rotate the lower arm. There is no hand articulation, but again, being that this is a Spin Master release, I'm fine for the fact that we get the posability that we do. Let's grab now in the head. This was the head and the torso that came included with Superman. Well, I'm sure we don't need to wait for the other pieces to do this. We're going to take the arm, and let's snap this in place. Now, it does look from the sides. It's not only just a hole, but it looks like there's all, look at the weird shape. It kind of looks like a clover. Okay, put a little bit of pressure. You got this, you got this. Oh, I did get this. There we go. So now we have ourselves the arm. It does move around as well as an arm, which should really move. It does also have bend in the elbow. Yeah, all the stuff we just finished covering. So that's how much we've accomplished so far for the Superman robot. When eventually I do finish building the rest of this, I'll bring in the Superman robot that we got from Todd and his team, and you guys can see the differences there. In the meantime, though, and by the way, though, it's still Superman Robot 4. Something about Superman Robot 4, I guess in his contract, he made sure that all the merchandise would be advertising him. Superman Robot 12 still. It's kind of also really strange that Superman refers to the robots as Superman Robot, and that the robots also call him Superman. You would think, though, that the robots would call him Kal-El. Anyways, though, I'm sure it's going to be explained when we look at the movie. In the movie, though, at least from what we've seen in the trailers, we already see that Guy Gardner is an absolute jerk. One of the, of course, notable things in the trailer is the fact he flips the bird. I think he knocks over a tank with a big giant middle finger. We don't get, obviously, that. For the sake of this being a kid's line, Spin Master isn't going to include an energy construct that has the middle finger. I wonder, though, if McFarlane Toys is going to do that, though. Head sculpt wise, I do think that, first of all, it looks quite a lot like Nathan Fillion. If you like the look of Nathan Fillion, mind you, though, with a bowl on top of his head. I think the sculpting is really quite good for this. I mean, just to compare this, though, with the earlier look at David's Superman, I think actually it looks a lot more like Nathan than this one looked like David. The bodies, though, if you're looking at the two side by side, maybe I would say that, I don't know, maybe they're about the same size. One thing I will say, though, it does seem like the proportions for his head, he maybe makes for a much larger head than it really needed to be. I mean, if you're looking at the torso and you're kind of looking at the proportions for the rest of his body, am I really the only one that thinks that Nathan Fillion's head is maybe too big? I mean, that may be a reflection of just the fact that the actor has a really big head. But I don't think it's as big as perhaps as what they're portraying here. Despite its size, though, I do think it's one of certainly of the better heads that we've gotten from Spin Master. And the figure does also have some decent posability, which was one thing that really did surprise me when we looked at the Superman figures. For his costume, though, this is one thing that between Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl, they're all going to have a very similar design of costumes. This, I'm sure, is going to probably get changed if we get a later sequel. The jacket is okay. I mean, like Mr. Terrific would have had like kind of red at the top. I think like Hawkgirl has like an orange or a yellow. And then, of course, in the middle there, we've also got the symbol. What do they call themselves? The Justice... That's going to come to me, I'm sure. One thing I will want to draw your attention to is the fact the figure does have a sculpted ring. Although, unfortunately, though, it's not nearly painted as well. I mean, you can kind of see like the plastic around that's just absolutely bare. It really did need a whole lot more green paint on that. Does have nice green paint, though, on the sleeves, of course, on the tops of the jacket. The jacket is one piece, though, to the rest of his torso, so don't try to do what I'm doing right now. Of course, you got the green belt down below here. The belt buckle telling us exactly what affiliate he's linked to. And of course, he does also have some green striping down the sides of his leg. It's a really well painted figure, to the fact even that they took the time to sculpt the undersoles of the figure's body. I mean, they didn't really even need to do that. They could have so easily phoned it in by just making the feet completely flat. By, unfortunately, though, making the feet a little more rounded like this, it does cause a little stability issue when it comes to guys standing. You kind of really feel that when you put the figure down, he wobbles a bit. I think a lot of it not only is just to do with the fact that they don't have the flat feet, but if you also look at the front of the foot as well, it's curved up, and that causes a bit conflict when it comes to the figure to stand properly. For the figure's articulation, though, going back to bowl head here, once again, just to spin this around so you guys can see. Good looking head. A little on the big side, I will admit, but still a nice looking head sculpt. Yeah, that head, by the way, is on a ball joint, so it moves up and down. You can rotate it all the way around. It does squeak, though, and I think a lot of the squeaking has more to do with the fact that when he gets around to the back of his head collar, that's the part, it's kind of like plastic on plastic. It's just squeaking away. That's not the sound of squeaking, by the way. The arms do rotate all the way around, all the way around. You can bring them out at very nice T-pose or 90-degree angle bend. Again, I was really kind of surprised to see this because when we looked at Superman, I really kind of went into this line expecting that they only would have had just like 5 points, right? Just a head swivel, just an arm swivel, and legs that only do this. They don't. They do a whole lot more. So again, in addition to the 90-degree angle bend, he does also have a bend in the elbow. The arms rotate all the way around. There is no waist swivel. I mean, that's one thing, and if he has to sacrifice something, I don't mind at all that he doesn't swivel here. The legs do split out. There's what the splits look like behind the scenes. Not that I'm sure really Guy Gardner wants you looking at his crotch like this. The legs go forward and they go back. There's not much really in the way of a swivel at the top of the thigh. However, though, the figure does have a knee bend. The lower leg does rotate. There's no articulation down below in the boot. So if you start really to tally this up, for a figure that stands at around $15, $16, I don't think you're getting bad articulation at all for these figures. And still, it's one of the things that with Spin Master, they've beaten Todd to the punchline. Having already now released the Guy Gardner, I will say they'll probably, if you're only really collecting like the larger 7-inch scale figures, you probably have very little to no interest probably picking up this line. But I will say for a line that's geared again towards kids, Spin Master's really knocked it out of the park so far. Not only have they done like the larger scale figures, they've also done the smaller scale ones too, and they've also done some activity sets. We just recently, in fact, looked at the Fortress of Solitude battle set. They're also doing, again, like the smaller scale figures. But, you know, again, like for a very consumer-friendly price point, $15 to $16 isn't that bad at all. Granted, though, he doesn't come with any accessories. He doesn't come with, like, for example, lantern. I certainly wouldn't expect the middle finger construct. That's never going to fly. But at least he does also come included with the arm piece. So if you are building yourself the Superman robot, even though it's going to be a little smaller than the one we got from McFarlane Toys, there's at least incentive to collect the entire line of 6 figures, even if maybe you only had in your mindset to only collect just a few. Now, I'm not at all a casting director, but the idea, though, of Nathan Fillion being cast to play the role of Guy Gardner seems really strange to me. A Green Lantern, sure, but a Hal Jordan long before Gardner. Yet, though, Gunn has had a proven track history when it comes to casting the right actors and the right actresses for the roles of these movies. I mean, look at how well he casted everybody for Guardians of the Galaxy and even Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, they did also really have, as well, Nathan Fillion in it. Nathan Fillion has had a proven track history as well of doing comedy. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they decided to have Fillion play Gardner instead of the more serious Hal Jordan. When it comes, though, translating the actor and the role that he's playing to plastic, I think Spin Master has done a great job on him. The head, I will admit, though, maybe does look a little large, especially when you're looking at it for the rest of the body. But the body, again, by no surprise. I mean, if we see what they've done with Superman and know that that's the bar that's been set, all the figures since then have had some pretty good levels of posability. I mean, as well, when you're looking at the price things, too. I mean, these figures selling by Spin Master go for $15 to $16 in the stores. The ones we get from McFarlane Toys are selling more closer to $35 and $40. Yes, these are a little bit smaller. Yes, they don't have as much of the posability, but for a friendly line to be giving to kids, I'd be more comfortable spending $16 on a figure that I'm going to give to a kid and having them being rough with it than obviously giving them like a DC multiverse figure and have them play with that instead. But what do you guys think of Guy Gardner? Let me know down below in the comments section. First, what do you think of the figure? Second, what do you think of the idea of Fillion being playing the role? Do you think that somebody else should have really picked up the role instead? Or do you think that was a perfect casting? If you guys did also enjoy this video, you can do it a solid and throw it a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? Yeah, I hope so. We're not finishing up things, by the way, with building a Superman robot. As you probably already saw earlier, there's a long way we still have to go. We only really had the torso, and we also had the arm. We still have another arm, we have an abdomen, and we have 2 lower legs. So, based at least on that, there's a lot more videos coming your way. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.